Hello, and this is Bogas Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Mcfarlane Monsters Werewolf playset. So before I do this review, I want to give a huge shout out and thanks to Anita Gambrill for sending me this, because we did a trade, and I traded for this, and I've been looking for this for 7 years. So, you know, I'm very thankful that we did that, just because I've been looking for this for so long. So, let's open the package. I went ahead and cut this before the review because that cuts down on some time just a little bit. Okay. Go ahead and take all the pieces out. This set has quite a few features. From reading the package, it has a hunter and the werewolf, and of course the actual diorama itself, because it comes with the base. Here are the instructions. Okay, so let me read the instructions before I do anything. Okay, place tabs into bottom of tree trunk into slots as shown. Okay, well that's pretty self-explanatory, I guess. I just wanted to go ahead and read it, that way I don't break it or anything like that. There. So there's the base all together. I think this base has some really, really nice detail. I like how this trail looks. It's got a lot of sculpting detail that makes it look just realistic. I like how all the tree roots and gravel sculpted in and has that dry brushing of black over them. Then there's a skull, an arm and a hand, or, well, an arm, and a femur. And here's the tree itself. It really looks like a dead tree, especially with that dry brushing of black and dark brown over it. It does open up so you can put the hunter, Steve the hunter, aka the victim, inside it. There's the back of it, pieces of the tree just falling apart. I think that looks really awesome. And I'll go ahead and put the hunter figure together, because both of his arms and his left leg and head are removable. So I'll go ahead and put them together and show his articulation, that way I can put him inside the tree. Oh, that left arm didn't want to go in at all. Now, it does say that you can take this apart however many times you want in the instructions, but I don't want to do that, just because once I take him apart in this video, I'll probably leave him like that. Just leave him displayed like that. So there is Steve the victim. Okay. This gun doesn't really want to... Well, I guess he can't hold his gun. I didn't figure he'd be able to wear his hat just because of it being really small and not a big enough place for his head to go into. You can see it just sits on top of his head like that, which it does look fine, but then it just wants to fall off. Let me try and get this maneuvered into his hand. There. There's him holding his hunting rifle. It's actually just kind of resting on this left hand. Just barely. So I suppose he's probably supposed to be like this. I think he has some nice sculpting detail to him. I like his jacket and his gloves, or his vest and his gloves. They're orange, and they've got a lot of sculpting and a dry brushing of brown to make it look like he's been hunting for quite a while. I think the expression on the figure is just a little silly. There's not a lot of detail, but it is kind of comic inspired, like it does have kind of a stylistic approach to it. So I really like that. His pants have some nice sculpting detail and the dry brushing of dark brown over the light brown. I think that looks nice. Then he has that knife right there in his boot. I think that looks nice also. And so, judging just by looking at this figure, no, he won't be able to fit in the tree until you take his limbs off. His head can probably stay on, but I'll go ahead and just take his arms. And I'll leave his head on, but let's try something. On the package, it does show kind of angling his head like that. Let me just angle it just a little more. There. I think that looks really awesome just like that. And he does have a hole in his back that you can put into a peg in here inside the tree. Maneuver him in here. Looking down through here trying to get him right on the peg. And I don't want to break it, so I'm just trying to see through these cracks back here. There. Oh, I forgot to go over his articulation. Well, he just swivels at all of these joints since they're just held on by a little peg, so he does have swivel joints. So as you can see, the tree opens up to reveal him hanging inside. So I think that is really, really awesome. And now for the main part of this set, the werewolf himself. And man, I think Mcfarlane Toys did an amazing job with this figure. I just think it looks mean and scary, like a werewolf should. He has really nice red eyes, because I don't think yellow eyes on werewolves look weird. They just look weird. They look out of place. So I think him with his red eyes looks really awesome. And he's snarling. His mouth's open. I really like that also. There. I like how his shirt's tattered and just hanging over his shoulder, his right shoulder. It's actually got a nice color to it. It's white and has a dry brushing of black and dark brown over it just to make it look dirty. And he does have abs, so he is a muscular werewolf. I just like the color of this fur. It's got some nice sculpting detail, but the dry brushing of light brown, kind of like a cream color, just makes it look very realistic. Even though it is kind of stylized, and of course it's a werewolf, it does look realistic to me, the fur. The fur does. I like the way his hands look too. I like how the claws look, how it's actually like a dog's claws, like his thumbs clear up here. I think that looks awesome. Now, I think this is a very scary werewolf, and I think that's the way it should be. I also like how his legs are also like a dog's. And he actually has really flat feet, so you can stand him on his own. Well, I don't have his feet the way they should be. So you can see that even though he has those kind of legs, he can stand on his own, which I really, really love. And he has even more detail on his pants. He's got some nice sculpting on the wrinkles there. And a dry brushing of black over the navy color of his jeans. I think his feet came out nicely. And the instructions did say that you can hang him from the branch right here. Let's try and get him. And yes, he can hang. So that looks really awesome, and I think that looks awesome. And he can, of course, stand on the set because of his really flat feet. So he can stand perfectly. There is a compartment back here where you can put the rest of the body parts. Just put them in there like that. Let me turn it this way because I don't want them to drop out. So there. Put all of his body parts back there in the back part of the tree. And for the rifle, I'll just stick it right here. And stick his cap right here. So now I'm going to go over the articulation of the werewolf. He's got a swivel head that can swivel side to side. He's got a swivel at the arms that can swivel all the way around. He's got a swivel at the waist that can just move just a little bit just because of the shirt, because his shirt is sculpted underneath his arm. It's not over the shoulder, it's under the shoulder joints, so it can just swivel just a little bit. And he has a swivel at the thigh. Or a swivel at the hip, not thigh. It can go all the way around. Although it does kind of look silly if you have him like this. He looks like he's just trying to sit down. So I'm going to do a size comparison because this figure is actually smaller than I thought it would be. So let me just angle the camera right here. Okay, so there the werewolf is. And here the werewolf is next to the Wetworks werewolf, another werewolf from Spawn, well, from Mcfarlane Toys. And this werewolf is way bigger than this werewolf. So he won't scale with the normal Spawn figures either. Spawn is bigger than him. I'm thinking this is probably 3-inch scale. Okay, so here the werewolf is next to Rick from The Walking Dead. And he's still just a little bit out of scale, because werewolves should be taller than just normal figures, you know? So he really doesn't scale with the Walking Dead figures. So let's try Marvel Universe. Okay, yeah, he is 3 3/4 scale. So I suppose if you wanted to, you could use him for your Marvel Universe setup. Where did I put Spider-Man? I did put Spider-Man right here. I knew it was going to do that. So all these sets are 3 3/4 scale. But I think that's really awesome, because you can also use this for your Marvel Universe collection too. And I suppose if you wanted to use, like, make a diorama kind of setup of it, you could use the Walking Dead figures if you wanted, because they're not terribly out of scale. So if you wanted to do that, you could. And now let's put the werewolf on his base. Let's move this. And he can stand perfectly. I really like that. Just because I didn't figure that the werewolf would stand having those kind of legs. But he stands perfectly on the base. And he's a little wobbly off the base, but I really think that looks awesome. So I would highly recommend this set if you can find it. Just because it's technically 2 figures in one with this hunter figure. And it has a display base kind of diorama setup. And of course the werewolf. And you can use it for your Marvel Universe. So this set has a ton of playability value. So again, I want to give a huge thanks to Anita for sending this to me and helping me out with finding this. So that's my review. And if you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.